Additionally, 65% of our preschoolers showed impressive growth in cognitive and mathematical skills. Our elementary adventure students have shown some incredible growth over the previous year, in large part to our commitment to ensuring a solid Tier 1 and to implementing the district curriculum with fidelity and accountability. A remarkable 81.3% of our students met or exceeded expected growth in reading MAP, a significant increase of 37.9% compared to the previous year. 75% of K-5 students met or exceeded expected growth in reading Spanish. 70% of our students demonstrated exceptional growth in mathematics, a 38% improvement over the prior year. These achievements highlight the power of effective instruction and the determination of our students to succeed. Our entire GCC team is committed to our school vision that all Jaybirds soar, strive for excellence, take opportunities for growth, achieve together, and show resilience and respect. Beyond academic growth, we've also made significant strides in creating a positive and supportive learning environment. We've decreased the number of major disciplinary incidents by a remarkable 87% compared to the previous year. This is a testament to the positive culture we're fostering at Gonzales and the effective implementation of Tier 1 strategies. One opportunity that we have identified in comparing the building-wide elementary data is that we would like to prioritize grade level attainment. We intend to shift our 25-26 school year goals to reflect an attainment goal, and we look to ensure rigorous CFAs to help gauge progress. Additionally, we are prioritizing increasing enrollment in our Adventures program, and we are excited to have welcomed 6 new students so far this year. I want to take a moment and recognize the incredible efforts of our teachers, staff, and students. Your hard work and dedication and commitment to excellence have made the 23-24 school year a resounding success. We are committed to building on this momentum and strive for even greater achievements in the 24-25 school year. We are excited to share our school's ambitious goals for the school year. These goals are designed to build upon our successes and address areas where we can improve. First and foremost, we're committed to creating a positive and supportive learning environment for all students. First, we plan to reduce major office discipline referrals by an additional 10%. We'll achieve this by ensuring that we continue to uphold a solid Tier 1 with explicit reteaching for target areas based on data analysis and observations. By collaborating with teachers, staff, students, and parents to implement effective behavior management strategies and restorative practices. By providing training for staff on classroom management, restorative practices, and conflict resolution during our staff meetings to ensure a common understanding of best practices. And by recognizing and rewarding positive behavior through the use of Jaybird Gold tickets and quarterly celebrations. Next, we're focused on ensuring that we meet the requirements for monitoring by improving our rating for teaching behavior expectations in early childhood education. Can you change the slide, please? Thank you. We'll do this by providing ongoing training and support to teachers, by conducting regular classroom walkthroughs to collect data and give feedback, and by collaborating with staff to analyze this data and determine strategies for teaching expectations in the areas of opportunity. To ensure that all students are ready for success, we are prioritizing attendance. Our goal is to increase and maintain average daily attendance of 95%. We'll achieve this by identifying and addressing the root causes of absenteeism at GCC, by implementing strategies to improve attendance, such as personalized outreach and incentives, and by collaborating with families to develop attendance improvement plans. Academic achievement remains a top priority at GCC. First, we plan to improve reading comprehension for our preschool for all students to 80%, meeting expected growth. We intend to do this by providing daily opportunities for reading and writing, by creating a literacy-rich environment, by ensuring that there are books in every center aligned with the theme, and by using effective instructional strategies like shared reading, providing visuals and realia to increase comprehension, and by implementing a building-wide lending library system. Additionally, we look to improve early math skills to 80%, meeting and exceeding growth targets. We'll accomplish this by providing hands-on experiences with manipulatives, incorporating math into daily routines and play, and by using effective instructional strategies such as problem solving and inquiry-based learning. I'm sorry, can you advance those slides? Oh, go back. Okay. And finally, we are focused on improving reading achievement to 85% and math achievement to 75% for our K-5 students. We'll do this by implementing high-quality instruction and intervention, by providing opportunities for personalized learning, and by using data to inform instruction and monitor student progress. We are confident that we are on the right track to meet these goals because at Aries Jaber Gonzalez Child Center, we live our mission of building foundations, empowering minds, and soaring together. We thank you for the opportunity to serve the great students and families of GCC.
I did.
Can we answer any questions for you?
I don't have any questions, but your numbers and the percentages of everything is looking excellent. I want to thank your staff for coming out and supporting you,
Thank you.
and thanking them for a job well done. So
Yes. They're an incredible team of hardworking educators, and we're very proud. Thank
Great
you.
job. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Cowherd Middle School Improvement Plan is our next presentation. Here with us today are Principal Jackie Gibson, Assistant Principals Anna Heimberger and Veronica Zamora, and Dean Derek Smith.
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening.
I like the
Good
matching footwear.
You like that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like that,
Oh,
like that.
nice.
We do it big. No. So good evening to the Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Norrell, other members of the cabinet. Again, I'm Jacqueline Gibson, the principal of Cowherd Middle School. And joining me are the members of our Cowherd admin crew. They will introduce themselves as they share the various components to our continuous school improvement plan. So tonight is our opportunity to share with you some highlights of what's going on over at 441 North Farnsworth, the teaching and learning that's taking place. We want to start by highlighting the support and involvement of our parents. I have to give big kudos to them. You'll see it on the slide when it comes up there, about how they come out to our parent coffees. We appreciate that. It's an opportunity for us to learn from them and for us to be able to arm them with information that we feel that they need as they're raising middle school students. They help us with our concession stands. They're at the band. They may be a few, but they're mighty in heart. And whenever we call them, they're available. I think it's also worth mentioning too, as ISBE says, that there is a 90% retention rate from over the 3 years of our staff. And so the stability that we've been able to provide our students, I think that's should be duly noted as well. We've always had a goal, our targeted growth goal of 60% on our MAP reading. And we are super excited that our 8th grade students achieved that this year. In addition to that, we'll celebrate within that our 8th graders too. There were many of them that are not only meeting and exceeding, but are also 4.0 students. And so we want to celebrate them also. For quite a while, we've been in the single digits as it relates to the access exits. And so we're excited that we made 10 this year, students that exited Access. And then also, we want to share too that our summative designation, I guess you would say, ascended 2 levels from comprehensive to commendable. And so we do celebrate, and we are excited about that. However, the work goes on, and it is about keeping the momentum to keep the movement moving forward and farther. And so what you see in front of you is the building-wide data. These are 3 assessments, different in structure and in its purpose, but one is in which what drives us. It is one of the drivers of the work that we do at Cowherd Middle School. And so when we gathered this data and we were looking at it, we implemented our data analysis protocol so that we could look at this and see what it is that's catching your attention. So even so, as we look at the 84% with the CFAs, but we're not seeing where they're meeting or exceeding on IAR, that's causing us to go a little deeper and to figure out why this is taking place. We're also looking at this there's good news to share. When you add it up, I believe we're at 16% met or exceeded in reading and 6% met or exceeded in math. Small numbers, but they're still growing. And that's what's important to us, that each year our kids are showing tremendous growth. And so what our team is going to do tonight is to show you how we've taken the data and how we've applied that in our school improvement plan so that we can see continuous growth and learning amongst our students and as well as our staff in the building.
Next slide, please. Good evening. My name is Anna Heimberger, and I'm the proud assistant principal of Cowherd Middle School. As we focus on educational equity and student achievement at Cowherd, our first goal is for at least 60% of our students in our school subgroup population, students who are Black, have disabilities, and or are English language learners, to meet or exceed their targeted growth on their fall 2024 to winter 2025 MAP assessment. Our teachers are not only analyzing data in their PLC teams, but we're also ensuring that students are part of the conversation and creating their goals based on their individual performance. Our school's bilingual facilitators are also supporting staff with professional development during the second of the 2 monthly faculty meetings. And our teacher leaders over the summer read the Doug Lemov's Teach Like a Champion and are providing best practices of instruction. Several of our teacher leaders also across different grade levels as well as subject areas participated over the summer in our IAR Blueprint team. In this team, they analyzed the documents and resources provided by the Illinois State Board of Education, and they're aligning it to our district scope and sequence. Our instructional coaches are then also planning activities within each content area for our half-day SIP days. And the purpose of that is to reflect the rigor as well as the format for students of what they're going to see in the spring on the IAR. Next slide, please. Our second goal within the pillars of educational equity and student achievement is for at least 20% of our students with a focus on children with disabilities to meet or exceed their projected stretch growth on the spring iReady benchmark assessment. Not only do we want to see students grow in their attainment of grade level skills and concepts as demonstrated by typical growth, but our goal is to have students with disabilities especially reach the stretch growth in order to further close the skill gaps and make progress towards their on-grade level achievement. As with MAP, our teachers have goal-setting conversations with students to make them a part of the process. And we're also emphasizing at least 50 minutes weekly on personalized MyPath lessons within iReady. And this is based on students' individual needs, but it's also about passing the lessons, not just doing them. And so to date, 92% of our students are passing at least half of their prescribed lessons, with 80% passing 70% or more. Additionally, teachers are collaborating with their grade level PLC teams, and they're using that math lab time in order to create station rotations where students are provided additional support on their individualized skills with direct instruction, as well as targeted practice from their grade level teachers. Our goals at Cowherd are centered around growth. We want to support our students in being better today than they were yesterday and being better tomorrow than they were today. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Veronica Zamora, and I thought I was the only proud assistant principal, but we have everybody, right? We're all excited and proud. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we've been working with attendance. At Cowherd Middle School, our goal is to increase average daily attendance for all, but with the specific goal of following subgroups such as our Black students, children with disability, and English learners. To be 95% by May 2025. In addition, we aim to reduce chronic absenteeism by 4% compared to last year. To achieve these goals, what we're doing is making attendance trends visible throughout our school in the graphics that have been displayed by the cafeteria. And these are done weekly and quarterly so that we can display each grade level. This allows all stakeholders to track attendance progress and to understand the impact of attendance on academic success. We also motivate students by turning attendance into a friendly competition among grade levels. These allow all of them to be able to participate as they are incentivized to attend every day and on time. We created a sense of accountability and school spirit. Currently, our overall average daily attendance stands at 94.2%. Not far from our goal, with 6th grade at 95%, 7th grade at 93.5%, and 8th grade at 94.2%. Moving forward, we will continue to focus on rewarding and recognizing students who show improvement and commitment to attending school. Special attention will be given to those with multiple absences, providing them with the support they need to stay on track. And by working together with families, communicating with all of them, we are confident that we can meet our attendance goal and support student achievement. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Derek Smith. I'm Dean of Students at Cowherd Middle School. I'd like to share a little bit about our educational equity and how we're meeting our goal of 90% of Cowherd Middle School students having one or less behavior referrals throughout the school year through implementation of social, emotional, academic, and behavioral supports. So in addition to what you see up here on the slide, we wanted to let you know that 86% of our students in first quarter had 0 referrals. And so we really made a big deal about celebrating that. We had a grade level assemblies where we broke down the data to the students and celebrated with some games. We also acknowledged the achievements of our athletes and some of our academic excellent students. So 67% of our students with referrals only had 1 referral. So that means only 5% of our students, or about 40 students, had more than 1 referral. So 95% of our students first quarter had 1 or less referral. And so we celebrated those students not only at the grade level assemblies, but we provided an incentive program for them to celebrate during their PE classes. So they had a choice day of going through obstacle courses, playing games, having dances. We had music playing. And for those students that earned the referrals, they had time to meet with their counselor and social worker over the course of 2 periods, and myself as well, and kind of go over what their referrals were in. So it provides a reflection piece for them where we can talk about, what they were thinking and feeling when they, accrued these infractions, but also talk about what they could do better. And that's a really big piece of what, we do at Cowherd Middle School, but also in my office, where we have the students reflecting on their behavior and try to practice having those critical conversations when we have disagreements, and just building that as a life skill in order to resolve conflict. So let me see. And also to focus on repairing the harm, really big at having those restorative conversations where we can repair the harm when the harm is done. So thank you.
All right, that concludes our presentation. Thank you for being an amazing audience. All right.
Okay, next up is East Aurora High School and some program updates. Joining us today are Principal Jennifer Mitchell and Jackie Stone, the Assistant Principal for Teaching and Learning, who are going to share a little bit about our plans for next year.
We are incredibly excited to tell you about these program updates for the upcoming year because they will offer many more opportunities for our students to earn dual credit through our programs. The first of these is we will change our Autos 1, and that will realign the curriculum that we currently offer to allow us to continue to partner with Wabanzi in order to give students even more dual credit. Right now, we offer dual credit for Autos 2. And so by realigning the curriculum in this way, students would be able to earn dual credit for Autos 1 as well as Autos 2. So Autos 1 would become auto shop operations. And with this rearrangement, how we came about with this rearrangement, we partnered with Wabanzi to make sure that as we rearrange the curriculum, it falls in line with what they already offered to make that dual credit process even easier. This first change could lead to 40 more students earning dual credit first semester. And then the second change would have 40 more students. So we would have potentially 80 more students earning dual credit with both of these changes. The second change is changing our Autos 2 curriculum to be auto engine service. Again, it's just a realignment of the curriculum so that way students would be able to earn dual credit in both courses. And a large part of this is due to the shift to having the block schedule this year allows us to be able to offer this because the courses were blocked before and now they have just additional time to be able to satisfy all of these things. The third change that we are going to be doing next year would be, we have previously partnered with Fox Valley Career Center. And with that partnership, we offered EMT and fire science. Again, with the move to the block schedule, it allows us more opportunities to offer, there's more time available for students. And so now, in addition to those two offerings, we can offer electrical systems 1 and 2, cybersecurity, PC repair, law enforcement 1 and 2. These are at a couple of, they have 2 different campuses. And so it outlines which campus these are going to be offered at. But it already follows that same process that we had for EMT and fire science before.
Do you have any questions for us?
Good question. Just in the expanded career offerings, are these programs or classes that students have high need or a high request? Or how did you determine which ones to offer, expand the offerings?
The expanded offerings with that shift in the schedule, these are more open to students than what they were before because they were offered previously, they were offered at times that we couldn't allow, like our schedule did not allow students the travel ability to go to Fox Valley for these courses. But now with the changing of our schedule, also with talking with Fox Valley, that's how we were able to offer these additional courses. I do know that yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. We do also have data from our student interest surveys that do show that they have interest in cybersecurity, law enforcement, things like that. So these offerings would extend to some of the needs that our students have shown in terms of their interests.
And these are areas that we need more individuals to pursue these career opportunities. So yeah, so it's in line with the need of the wants of the students, but also the needs within our communities.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next up is information about the Resilience Education Center offerings pilot. Sharing these are Dr. Norell and Associate Superintendent Jalitza Martinez.
Good evening, everyone. I am going to just kind of run through the first portion, and then I'm going to turn it over to the person who has the expertise to talk about the second portion because I do not have that expertise. I want to just first say that at the Resilience Education Center, initially, when we, as a Board of Education, as you may remember, we talked about doing after school and weekend programs as our primary focus, along with the counseling component. And then when we thought, as we got into the renderings and really understanding the capacity of that wonderful facility, we realized that we could be taking full advantage of this building around the clock. And so we moved kind of late in the game to be able to offer regular curricula for high school students to take credits. And that was probably the best decision ever, because I will tell you that that has launched. Part of my updates at the board meeting will be celebrating first quarter, but that has launched with tremendous success. And that wasn't even the original purpose of building this building. So I just want to say that I feel like I would be remiss on a presentation about the Resilience Education Center without talking about that component. So kudos to our staff who went into a new place, tried to lug their supplies, had to figure out what they don't have. It's like when you move houses. I mean, literally. And some of our staff there have been teaching and they're at East High forever in their programs. So I just can't say enough about the success that they were able to make us have in that new facility. But also moving into the original purpose of this building, which was to provide an opportunity for social wellness, if you will, for not only just high school students, but this was about our birth to 3, our pre-K families, and our kinder, all the way up, including through 8th grade. And so after we launched the piece that kids get credit hours with, which is successful launch of our classes, and having lunches and those things, became the primary focus because we don't have a lot of time to get that wrong. We did that first quarter. So as we move successfully to second quarter, we want to launch the other piece, which is the activities piece, the counseling piece, right? Excuse me. So we have asked our a leader of that building, thank you very much, Ms. Marissa Martinez, to actually put together a pilot activity program. And so we are looking to pilot and make sure that what we think and what we've heard is something that would be utilized. The structure and function is going to work out. The scheduling is going to work out. People are actually going to sign up and come before we ask the board, hey, can we have $25,000 of grant dollars to finish this off for the year? We want to do this pilot and then come back to you. And then if all is successful, we want to do a catalog for winter and a catalog for spring and a catalog for summer and a catalog for fall, kind of like mirroring what the Park District does with regard to pushing out opportunities for families. And so we are anticipating, if the board says yes tonight, because this is moving down for action, we would like to kick off this pilot of activities on December 14th. If the board says yes tonight, tomorrow we will launch out a registration or this week to families and say, hey, we're going to offer these activities for the pilot. Please sign up. And the first of those events would be December 14th. We are looking again, I covered all of the grade levels for all of our families district-wide. We are going to have something, we'd like to have something called spotlight classes, which would be classes that we may have a hit or miss, like a one-time offering if we have an expert for pottery painting or an expert for art. But then we'd also like to have reoccurring classes. Let's say we had dance class for the littles for a pre-K. That would be something that families would know would be recurring. So there would be a difference between a spotlight class, like a drop-in class that families could sign up for, versus something that would be recurring. And of course, we want to have parent workshops. So we'd like to have most activities with their child, but then also there's a draw that we can get parents that don't traditionally come to school activities, to school events, to talk to conferences, but maybe we can get parents out for a culinary thing. And we saw a lot of success. Thank you for Parent University with parents utilizing that. You'll see more about that tonight. We want to utilize all the spaces except our high-tech spaces like our journalism, broadcast studio, as well as our music production studio. But all the other spaces, we have found activities that we could utilize. And again, multiple seasons. What the next slide shows is just basically a summary of what I talked about, the who behind the classes. And then if you go to the next slide, it just gives you a snapshot of what the cool catalog pages would look like, or a brochure. So you could see this is what we're asking the board to let us pilot. So we would go and in the dance studio, we would have these dates and these times offered so that people could go online, click the button on what they might be interested in, and sign up. And it talks about dance fitness that we could do. If you have a parent and a child, they could come in. If we have a parent and a child that are interested in learning yoga, the tenets of yoga, which is really a hit at the GC. Is GCC still in the house? Yes. We have pictures. We know yoga is a hit over there with the littles. So, these are things that we would like to offer our families. If you look at the next one, you'll see art studio and those classes. If you go beyond that, you'll see plan to do as a spotlight class in our culinary kitchen. And let me just say this, because I think these details are coming up later, but while it's fresh on your mind, when we do this, we are obviously going to first and foremost post for our staff that not only maybe may do this on a day-to-day basis, but maybe, and I've talked to several people that have said, hey, I have a certificate in this. Like, I am a Zumba instructor. I am a yoga. Like, this is my passion. It may not be, I may teach second grade, but this is a passion. So if the board approves this, we'd like to post this internally, and we have a contracted rate, which would be the highest of the summer school rate, and allow our staff to be able to engage in these classes. It's not for credit hours, but it is a class that we'd like to use those individuals who have expertise and passion to be able to do that. So that is the family activity piece. Before we move on to counseling, are there any questions? Because I know this has been a long time coming.
Yes, I do. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, that's
I'm
good.
still learning. So
Yes.
I apologize for any questions that I may have. But what I was curious about, because the Resilience Center was opening the same time school.
Yep.
So I didn't see, when you talk about success, I didn't see any enrollment in attendance. So do we have that data to kind
Yeah.
of see
Oh, yeah.
the success of it? And then two, the calendar, excuse me, the calendar. I know you said this is just an example, but in order for us to be approving, should we see the full calendar activities?
You're just approving the pilot tonight, and then we'll bring you back data from the success of the pilot before we give you a full calendar, because we're really just trying this out to see before we commit to doing something for 3 months. We want to see how receptive our families are. So what you see, what you would approve tonight.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
just these few little dates and activities.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious about the data. Do we have a number?
Oh, yeah.
Just off the top.
Yeah. So I'll just
In
tell you this.
terms of
So let me
attendance.
go back over this because it's a little bit confusing for everybody. So the Resilience Education Center is the max is about 400 students a day. I'm looking, Steve's not in the room. He tells me 400 students at any given time. And what we do every day, we are packed. Our teachers have a full schedule. Our art teacher, and it depends because the actual Resilience is almost another campus for the high school. So it's East High and another campus. So those teachers, depending if it's red day or black day, because block scheduling, so Monday, Wednesday, and alternating Fridays, or Tuesday, Thursday, those classes are well attended. We bus the kids there from East High every single block period. They go over, they spend their time, they go. So our attendance, I think that is the one that has probably the highest attendance.
What is that?
And we can pull that. They've got to be in the 90th percentile, but they go over for yoga. They'll go over for dance. They go over for all different types of art classes, including, I believe Susan teaches some of our AP there, but there are 2 art teachers. They go over for a culinary class, which is really not necessarily the same expertise as at the high school through their traditional commercial kitchen. It's really a culinary class for baking and global pastries, I think, so which is more of a baking class. And they go over for broadcast journalism, which is phenomenal. And actually, because of the success, we've been able to offer broadcast journalism too. And they also go over for music production. And I have heard back from at least 3 of those teachers, and music production raves about the student participation, how well they're doing in that class, how it's just been a wonderful program. So they all have a full house. We have 0 spaces to run any extra electives because we were looking at that for January, being able to add. we're at maximum capacity. We can't fit any others of those program classes. So next year we already know the kids are going to have a Hunger Games experience when it's time to do advise and sign to sign up for that. So the counselors will have to pick whatever deal they have, but the teachers have done such a great job that the kids are definitely wanting to sign up. So that has been a huge success. And then after school, we run programs because we got their grant recipients. And so that's been the one that's kind of harder to come to because we were targeting 7th through 10th grade. In the high school, we couldn't get them to go for after school because there were so many other competing interests. So we have extended it to 6th grade. So I believe we have 6th through 9th grade or 6th through 8th. 6th through 8th. And we got a handful of kids to work with our program Talented 10th as well as Lutheran Family Services to go through their programming. And so they do come, we bus them home, we do feed them snacks. And then during the day, it was the senior opportunity, only 2 to 3 days a week, we invite seniors. So depending on who you are, your schedule, you would go on a red day or a black day, and you just go over for lunch because the lunch was supposed to be special. It was supposed to be different. I am having a conversation. I don't see Mike Engel, but we are having a conversation. I look at finance with the food service vendor because that has been my biggest gripe because it is not quite as different as it was supposed to be. So the kids are like, I might as well stay at East to eat lunch here and not get on the bus. Just so the kids who are there for the courses are always there. The kids who got on the bus just to go over to have lunch, now they're schlucking over what they had at East. And that's not making it like feel special, feel different. They were supposed to do healthy rice bowls and they were supposed to do made to order like pizzas and just different things. They were supposed to have paninis. And I just don't see that on a regular basis. And I've heard from the teachers there who have emailed me back and said the food is the same as the high school. So I have a meeting, actually, Mike and I have a meeting with our food service provider, with the regional person. I'm sorry, the national person, to say, we got to fix this or you're not going to keep this site. So that is the only complaint coming out of there. I know that makes them not want to go over for lunch. So the seniors opt to stay in the atrium at the high school.
Okay.
Did I reflect that right, high school? Okay. All right. So I'll turn it over to counseling if you want, or
I
one
just
more
have
question.
one quick
I just-
question too.
Yeah.
After
Well,
you're done.
Yeah, and the counseling piece is what I was.
Oh, yeah, that's
interested in.
next.
So I'll let
I'm
Mr.
just going
Williams.
back on the courses that were selected as part of the pilot, and I'm assuming we're only picking like the dance studio, the art,
Mm-hmm.
and the culinary part just because that is a space we have provided.
Yes.
I guess I would have loved to seen maybe something gone out to the community just to see what their interest was before this came out.
Mhm.
Just as a suggestion, but I think just to see what the numbers would have been if this goes out and see how many amount of people will actually would like to participate instead of us spending the money and finding out that no one shows up.
That's why we're doing the pilot. You're absolutely right. So we're doing the pilot to see if this is really where the interest lies, because when the board designed this space with the architects, the community came in. We actually held nighttime meetings. And yes, we did build some of these things because we asked the kids, what would make you put down your cell phones? But in those meetings, we met with middle and high school students, but then we met with all the parent leaders from the parent organizations, as well as just neighbors in the neighborhood that might have had kids. So the facilities that were built based upon the feedback that we got from parents and kids. So now as we look to have classes in those spaces, we really want to know, like, how about this? And, we won't know until we ask someone to commit to sign up. And that's why we are only bringing you a pilot, because we don't want you to commit to an entire season of activities and you don't even know, if we hire people, if there's going to be more than one person that shows up. So we plan to bring the results of the pilot back to you and say, wow, this went over big. This, we had no one interested. This was good. So it's going to be a variance, we know, but we just don't know yet what it is. The only thing that we weren't able to put on here, and I may be speaking out of turn, so I'll look over at Marissa, is I really was big on with the pottery, not necessarily expecting the littles to learn how to manipulate a pottery wheel. That may make Susan pass out, but really to actually get the pieces of pottery, like you would pay a lot of money to go to a brush strokes or something and let them paint the squirrel or paint the heart or whatever. And so that's one thing that I don't think we added yet, but that's something that we'd like to be able to offer our parents, because we can do that under family engagement grant dollars. And that's stuff that a lot of kids don't get to do because it costs a lot of money to go to those studios to do those.
Sorry. Also, can you remind me how long the pilot will be?
Yes, the dates, it's going to start December 14th. I got to cheat and look at these. Do you know the end date?
Just December 14th. That's
Oh,
the
it's
date where
going to
we
be
have.
on December
Mhm.
14th for those. Yeah.
Just
Right,
the
right, right.
For
one
all of
day.
those.
Yeah, we're going to
Yeah.
sign up for the classes. Thank you. I'm like, did we say another? I thought we had another day, but no.
Okay, so then how do you measure success for one day?
Just seeing what the interest is. Really, the success is casting this out to say sign up, but we can't cast anything out to say sign up if we're not committed to actually offering it. So we'll see if there is a rush. We anticipate, just from having conversations with our parent groups, that there will be a rush to sign up, but we won't know until they actually, and even when people sign up, they have the best intentions. We really won't know until we see who actually attends.
Okay. So it looks as though these items here are just to see who will enroll. And then
And
once
attend,
you
yep.
enroll,
Mhm.
then you would say these are some ongoing.
These went over
programming
well.
that-
Yeah,
okay.
we'll ask for their feedback after they come to a class. Like, would you come to this every Saturday? Is this something, just again, just another way? Because I can go up, we've been showing up at parent group meetings and having conversations with them. And then, but we don't know until they come and experience it, nor do they know, to their credit, whether or not it's going to be something they want to come back to on a regular basis. So this was our next step for second quarter, to be able to say, we'll try it. And then if it's a hit, we'll know that we need to make that a recurring class.
Yeah. So it's almost like the discovery
Yes.
of interest is what Saul mentioned about getting input from the community. So it's more
Yeah.
discovery.
It is a
Okay.
discovery effort. Yeah. Before we come back to you. And then we can come back to you and say, hey, we did this. This was a huge hit. We'd like to offer for the month of January and February more of these.
Mhm. Oh, we're in, yeah.
Yeah. And then you would say, okay, we approve a 6-week winter program with these offerings because they showed up, they had a blast, they asked for more.
Mhm. So is it possible maybe changing the what you're calling as a pilot, maybe a discovery interest?
Yeah,
from members in
that's
our
just a
community?
technical term for
Okay.
us, for you to know what we mean. Yeah.
right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll just say, we can couch it as that for them. All right, I'm going to turn it over to you because I am not doing the counseling part.
Okay. Next slide. Thank you. Or the memo. Yeah, either one. So we know that in the field of mental health and when people are trying to access resources, there has been a delay because of wait lists that organizations in the community have articulated, and families have told us when we've referred them out for services that they can't be seen for months, 6 months to a year, sometimes even longer in some cases. And so we do have the mental health suite at the rec center. We wanted to kick off with interim counseling services with EA staff. We have many skilled social workers who work in our buildings, many skilled counselors, clinicians that would be more than capable of supporting our students with some of those SEL skills and building of those skills. Our clinicians right now, they primarily focus on, providing services in minutes for students with IEPs. They support crisis, they support daily occurrences. But a lot of times the students that they refer out for services that aren't typically, they may not have an IEP that indicates that they need social work services. They may not be coming up on daily crisis. A lot of times the internalizers, they kind of get overseen until it's too late and it's time to do an ROH or engaging them in that kind of support. And so these really tapping on the staff and the skills that we have in-house will allow us to kick off this program at the rec and allow more of our students to be seen. King County puts out, their health department does a youth voices forum on mental health where they ask the youth, high school students, what are some of the needs, what are some of the barriers, and they too identified that wait lists and wait time have been a significant barrier. In their report, they quoted a student saying that they went for services and had to wait 2 years before they could see a clinician to help them deal with some of the issues that they were having. And so we really want to get this started. We want to make sure that our community, our kids are supported. And so we wanted to, again, post you can forward the slide, Andy, so that we can start these sessions. And so we would be offering group and individual sessions depending on the expertise from our clinicians. When they review a case or review a referral, they can determine what type of session they would be providing to the family or to the student. And again, we wanted to start with a posting for our social workers and counselors who have some of the certifications that you would traditionally see in an outside organization or setting that provides some more therapeutic counseling services. So that's the LPC, LCPC, LSW, LCSW. And again, we're just trying to foster that connection home to school and a holistic approach to the school-based mental health services.
Great, great. Yeah, this is one of my area that is very close to me. That I know
Yeah.
there's a lot of support for our young people
Mhm.
with the social emotional support. What I didn't see is a timeline. You said you wanted to get started. So what's the time frame? And when you say get started, because I think this would be a great opportunity for some of our social work and counselors
Yes.
to take advantage of the additional resources for themselves. And then additional time that they can spend with some students who don't
Yes.
get those doing in-school service.
Absolutely. Thank you first for the support in social emotional health and mental health of our students and families. Realistically, I think when we post, we would want to see the number of staff who are interested. And then what we want to do is make sure that we have at least 2 clinicians at the rec center at the same time providing services. I think that if we move quickly and we have people who are interested immediately, we probably could get going at least by December, the second week of December. Although we would need to iron out the referral process to make sure that we are creating a caseload per se of students and families that would get the services. They'd have to do kind of a thorough review of the rationale for receiving the services and talking to the team or to the school. So I think that we could probably get started by December, but knowing the process of referral and reviewing the cases, I think that I would say January would be a for sure start date, but we would definitely go sooner if we can.
Yeah, and here's the problem that we have all the time with this, even with starting like after school, credit recovery, and it's just that we need to get permission now because we do credit recovery annually. We kind of have that the board knows, and we just go ahead and post. By this being new, we just needed to kind of share our thoughts because we are still in conversations about having bringing to the board a proposal for a formal partnership for a larger entity, which won't mean that if this is working well, we have 21 sites, we could keep this going. But just for that facility, we might be able to partner with something, but that'll be the board's decision at that time. This will be a nice fill and almost a pilot again for how this could work even at other schools. But we don't have permission to even post, to even know if we have staff that would do it before we offer it to make families too excited to say, hey, we're going to start this then. So if we have your permission tonight and you vote to let us go forward, then we then have the authority to move forward and post it, and then we'll have a better idea of timeline. So I don't know. We're assuming yes, but we just don't want to promise.
Right. So, but I think it's a need.
Oh yeah. Oh my
So
goodness.
that I would say, and the Resilience Center was kind of designed based on that to provide that additional social emotional support for students and families. But I also would say that if we can try to get this out and have staff, and I'm sure anybody will want to make some extra dollars, right? To be able to get this going, because I know because I serve on a foundation. And there is a waiting list, and if we can get as much support to our students and families immediately, I think it serves great for our education system as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. We agree. So thank you. So we will hope the vote goes yes tonight, and we will be ready to go.
I have a few comments as well too.
Oh,
And
great.
I think going back on what the ODS say, I think I would love to also see a timeline, even if it's just projecting dates on here on how we're doing this, just of when we're planning on putting this out to the staff members or an actual timeline of just maybe just predictions of dates and times of how that goes. I think it's something that is very needed nowadays. And while I don't want to rush, I want to make sure that things are done correctly. I'm big in systems in place and procedures. So I want to make sure that people know how to refer and those things are ironed out before we roll that out. But I definitely agree with the order that I would like to see some kind of timeline as well once hopefully this is approved.
Yeah, if it's approved tonight, and no, we never usurp, our board's authority. If you're approved tonight, we're going to go live tomorrow with the postings. We have them ready. Anytime we bring them to you, we just have them all typed up and ready, and we just hope and pray. And then the next morning we can launch them. But the other thing is, this would be Monday through Thursday. So, but again, we always want to make sure that we have more than one person there just for safety. So we would be looking to do it every Monday through Thursday school is open. Kind of
So-
like we do after school tutorials
Right.
and those things. Yep.
So my statement for a timeline is that I was interested in something getting going
Yes.
quickly
Yeah.
so that we can have this kind of
Yeah.
support for our
Yeah.
students.
Us too.
We
Yes.
are with you. Yep.
That's big.
Okay, that brings us to our next topic, which is our fourth grade FLES program is no longer running with the expansion of our dual language program. And as such, we have some outdated materials up for resolution. They'll go forward at the December 2nd board meeting, but just so you're aware, they're on there. And then if you can go to the next one as well, same kind of idea. We have some outdated kindergarten connect and listos materials that are ready to go up for disposal. So those are our disposal items. And then our last agenda topic today is the enrollment and attendance update as of November 14th. You can see that we had 12,329 students enrolled, and I'm excited to report that our district average attendance is up, and it's looking so great, 93.47% for the week of November 4th through 8th. Whew. I know, very
That's
exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
All right,
and with
that's it.
that, we have come, no questions, no comments?
No.
We've come to the end at 6:54. Thank you so much.